What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Clem to 100 Challenge. This week's episode is going to be jam-packed with a bunch of knowledge and information that you can take in for yourselves and figure out how to better your game with the little things that we're doing. I'm going to talk a little bit about the pocket change that I made. I'm going to talk a little bit about the shafts that I've been using, sent from True Lacrosse, who is sponsoring this series, as well as the Mesh Dynasty. So you'll get kind of an idea a little more in depth of why I made a pocket switch and why I think that's going to end up being better for me in the long run.
Focusing on what's important in terms of physical shape leads to mental, emotional, and spiritual health.
I also got Jack from Two Wolves Performance, my personal performance coach, coming back to kind of talk about the importance of these drills that we have been doing, but also to talk about not putting too much emphasis on shooting fast. It is an important part of the game, but by no means should it be your number one priority. I will take shooting accurate over speed anytime. So I just want to talk about my pocket change real quick. I think too many people think that having a mid-high pocket with tons of whip is the only way to shoot fast. And I think I figured out from last week that that is not correct. I want to play with a pocket at all times that I'm used to, which for me is like a nice mid-low that has a nice snappy, quick release. So while I can't wind up as much with this pocket that I showed you guys last week with this mid-low and the Divine 9 rhombus, it doesn't matter as much because I'm able to keep my normal mechanics. So with those normal mechanics, I'm able to do the drills properly. I'm able to improve my timing. I'm able to improve my hip turn and all that, so that these exercises that I'm doing that focus on explosion and core aren't going to waste because my timing and mechanics are all off, because I decided I wanted to play with some pocket that I've never played with before because I thought it might make me shoot faster. So now that I got my stick all set up and perfect exactly the way I want it, now I can work on my body. So focusing on explosion and focusing on core, Jack has developed a workout plan for me that I've been doing over the last 2 weeks.
It's really interesting because I've never had to design a program around one goal of shooting 100 miles an hour. And so we've broken it up into 3 days, focusing on a lot of explosiveness from our feet and our knees, generating power, rotational power, into a 3-day workout plan mixed with some conditioning. And a lot of the conditioning is not, running a mile or 300s. It's more focused on athletic movements that enforce driving off our feet, hip drive. So it's kind of conditioning that muscle memory.
It's been tough. I am very out of shape. So luckily he was able to give me access to his online library, which has shooting drills, motivational content. It has team workout drills. It has wall ball drills. It has everything you need to become the most well-rounded player. So that's been extremely helpful. Not only do you get his knowledge of the game, but you get all these added bonuses that you can work on outside of his practices or outside of talking with him. And that's been very helpful for me because sometimes I get discouraged if I'm not doing the best right away.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna start from a stance. Okay, we're gonna start here on a single leg. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here, facing the sideline. Okay, we're gonna get set, chin above our shoulder, hips, everything lined up. Single leg hop back, transfer the weight from our back foot to our front foot, driving towards our target.
So as you can see, I'm not the greatest listener in the world. I forgot once I got out on the field that I was supposed to start on my front foot. I ended up starting on my back foot for this drill, but I still got the whole gist of the drill, which was to really push off that back foot and carry my momentum through. So I didn't exactly do what Jack said, which I'm gonna work on listening a little bit better. But I did a progression of my own where I started with this drill and then I moved on to a one crow hop into my shot, into a full wind up into my shot. So it was interesting to feel that progression in my body, to go from standing still to one step to a full shooting motion. So that was very helpful for me to understand the timing and how everything is supposed to flow towards the goal. And I think now once I get this perfectly down, speed is going to go up dramatically.
In regards to Clem's shooting, do I think he's going to get to 100 miles an hour? Yes, I do. I think starting at 93, mixing in some workouts, spacing out time where those workouts can create processing gains in muscle strength and muscle memory, while correcting his form and tweaking his movement, I do. I sure hope so. It would look bad for all of us if we don't.
This is all new to me. I'm very out of shape for what I'm used to. So I've been kind of down on myself at times. And luckily, Jack is such a motivated person.
You know, I've been trying to hold him accountable, keep him on his workouts, and send him whatever inspiration he needs. But I think at the end of the day, our goals always come down to being able to hold ourselves accountable and the discipline of our own.
And I consider myself pretty motivated as well. But when you feel defeated, it's nice to have someone there to pick you up and tell you, hey, we're going to do this and it's going to be okay. So big thanks to him for that. And I'm very excited at the work I've been doing and to see how it transitions into speed.
We have one goal, and that's to reach 100 miles an hour. That should not be your goal. As a player, as an athlete, you should want to be developing into a better athlete and a more dynamic player. This can be good in short bursts when we want to improve our shot speed and our power, but it's not something that you want to do over time where you place an emphasis. You know, this is for truthfully content and entertainment, and I think a byproduct of that is Clem getting into shape, kind of focusing on what's important. Physical shape leads to mental, emotional, and spiritual health.
87, 83, 83, 88.
So once I got through these drills, I decided I had enough energy in the tank to test to see where my speed was. And I was a little discouraged at first because the numbers were not as high as I wanted them to be. I wanted to see a big improvement.
90. There we go, babe.
While I did get a few upper 80s, my last shot I ended up getting a 90, and I was very happy with that. I didn't want to overdo it because I didn't want to get too tired and start shooting poorly. You know, I ended on a good shot that felt like it had good form,
90.
And I was happy with that. So we're at 90 miles an hour, and in 2 weeks, I really expect to be right back up to 93 with this new shooting motion. And after all these workouts, I mean, I'm more driven now than I ever have been because now I feel comfortable. Now I'm comfortable in my shooting motion. Now I know that I can actually take this work that I've been doing and transitioning it into a higher number. And, you know, because that's the metrics that we're looking at here. So, you know, 90 miles an hour ain't bad. I'm pretty happy.
80.
I also shot 80 miles an hour with my left hand, which was crazy. I couldn't believe that. But, you know, I'm going to work harder than ever. So stay tuned and make sure throughout the week you check my story because I'll show you some of the workouts I'll be doing and show you some new ones that I haven't shown yet. And you also see some drills that I will continue to do throughout the week. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Anything you want to see, just shoot me a DM and I'll answer your questions and I'll try to address them in the next episode. And stay tuned for the next episode of Clem to 100 Challenge. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.